Hi folks, we just got done doing the sitting Uh-Oh Santa, and then after we did that one, we did one called the hat and boot Uh-Oh Santa. And now we're going to do something a little different. Now this size we have been using for the sitting Santas. I'm going to do a couple of different things with that. So you can use the same block. And if you want to make these Santas, next Santas, they're going to be called the Shorty Uh Oh Santas. The reason for that is because the Shorty Santas that I had before, they had the feet sticking out the bottom and they were very short, and you can use the exact same block that you use for all your sitting series. It's the size of the block is going to be 3 1/4 inch long and by 1.5 by 1.5, and then about 1.5 inches from the top. You want to taper it off to about 1 inch, 1.5 inches from here down from the top, and then you're going to taper it to about 1 inch wide at the top. Now I'm going to show you some of the ones I did. I haven't had a chance to paint them yet. I'm trying some new little things, and I'll have a couple of different Uh-Oh Santas later on, but I think I'm going to stop with after this one for a little bit. And this one here is what they look like. Okay, I love the way the feet stick out. Has noses hanging over the top. This is of all the Uh-Oh Santas, I think this is the one I favor the most. And since we had already done one with the tassel to the side, I made 3 of these in the last day or so. They all look a little different. Some have a wider face, some don't, but they all have the feet sticking out the bottom. We had one with the little tassel sticking at the top. So this is the one we're going to do today, and we're going to get started here in a little bit. I think it will be a lot of fun. What I did was I took, I would say just about 1/2 inch, a little bit more from the bottom. You're going to put a line, and remember how we measure. We're going to take a line going across, okay? And one thing I have done with these to speed up the process, I always tell you to clean up your carving before you paint. In other words, take off all the rough spots on your piece before you start. So what I did was I took a knife and I just slivered off the rough stuff. Now this has one of those little markings on it. That's not going to bother at all, because since we're going to be painting it, it's not going to be an issue. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start to figure out where the feet go, and then right where it tapers off, of course, we're going to put our other line in for the face. The next thing I did was I drew a nice wide nose. Now I measured again on either side with my finger. I'm always using my finger as a guide to along the side, okay, to show me how far each side, so it's all even. So when you look at these, it looks even everywhere. Okay, I usually get just about I would say a little bit lower than that. Usually I try to make the white portion on the top larger than the other two, like it's the crown or the top of the chimney. I don't know if that's the right terminology for it or not, but then we'll put one in the middle, okay, measure it, and we'll take a line, and then we're ready to do some carving once we get all these lines put on. This is very much similar to what we did with the other 2 projects that are already up, but the difference here is I have the nose a little bit closer, a little bit more narrow. The eyes are not going to be as super big. We're not going to put an eyelid as we did on the first one. I don't think there's room for these for the eyelid. Well, yes, this one has 1 eyelid and 1 no eyelid. I got to fix that. So it depends how much room. This one did not have one, and this one does not have one, because if you put that eyelid in and it gets too small, then it's hard to paint a nice eye in there. So you want to make sure you get enough room to do what you want there. So going back to this, the other thing that I'm going to do different than with this one is I'm going to drape that that brim of the hat all the way around. See how I have it all the way around? Instead of going down into the chimney, it's going to go all the way around. And I did that with each one of these. I did it. I like that look a little bit better than the other way. So, you know, I experiment with these things and what I can do with a block and how much room I have to do the carving. And it's really by trial and error. And I really enjoy doing these small ones. They don't take a whole lot of time to do. I can do one probably in an evening if I stick at it for a few hours. I can get one done. But so, you know, this is a nice one-night project for you if you're looking to do something for a gift and that kind of thing. So let's go back to this. So we have our lines written up. We're going to choose which is the front. Then we're going to put our tassel. And what we do is we take a little line, we measure the line on both sides, and down, and across. Okay, and then I kind of rounded it all up. Alright. So, the first thing I do is I'm going to find my other knife, which I don't see it right here. Oh my goodness, where did I put it? No, that's not it either. Okay, I'll come back to that later. Alright, I don't know where I put it. Anyway, I have another knife I can use for now. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do my corners and just chop the corner out of where the lines are. And you want to try to make them right on the line so everything's very even, you know, because it's going to look weird if you get the lines on here, do these corners, and they're off a little bit. It's going to look like it's crooked. So you want to be careful when you put those lines on that they're straight. Alright, and again I take my knife and I push my knife in a little bit, and that kind of scores it for me, so I can just take the tip of the knife, and it doesn't reach all the way across, so I turn it around and I finish it up and take my knife across. Okay, and then I take this and I go like just sliver a piece out. It gives me a guideline where things are going to go, and I go all the way around for the top. I do the same thing for each and every line. Make sure you have your glove and your thumb guard on. There we go. You can go pretty deep. It doesn't hurt it any if you do. But one thing you want to remember, when you do go really deep, you're really putting more pressure on that knife, which you really don't have to do. You can go do a second pass on it. It'd be a lot easier, a lot safer to do it that way. Because what happens when you put too much pressure on your knife, you end up maybe slipping off the bottom here like this, going down and hitting your hand behind it. So, you know, if you don't have a lot of pressure behind it, it's a lot safer that way. Alright, so take our point of our knife and we're going to just slice it out. You know, don't hold your knife like this and try to go across the wood. Try to do a little bit at an angle so it actually slices it out. Works much, much better. Alright, so let's see what we have here. Okay, so we've got all four sides done. Then what the next thing, well, I'm running out of tape. I'll be right back.